Hello students, hello PVHS students. Today we're going to study measurement of notation. So we're going to go new, GeoGebra Math apps once you're signed in. And we're going to choose graphing calculator. To study rotation, we need a point of rotation. So we're gonna say capital A equals open parentheses 0, comma 0. Hit enter. Then we're going to create a circle. Go ahead and drag your X and Y coordinate axis so it's in the center, and we're going to make sure that we're all the way on the left hand side, the move menu, and we're going to turn the 90-degree grid on, the graph paper grid. Then we're going to enter, we're going to create a circle with around center point A and radius 1. This is the unit circle. Because the radius is only 1 unit, we're going to zoom in. You could zoom in using the zoom in menu, or you could zoom in using your touchpad. Next, we're going to create a slider. So we're going to create a slider, and we're going to put the slider somewhere we can easily see it. So I'm going to put it on the left hand side, and this slider is going to go from, this slider is an angle, so it's going to go from 0 to 360 degrees in 1 degree increments. Remember, the name of the slider is alpha, a Greek letter alpha, not A. Then to see the rotation, we're going to create another point around the circle, open parentheses, cosine. We have to use our calculator menu and our Greek alphabet menu to choose alpha, open parentheses alpha, escape the parentheses, comma, sine, open parentheses of alpha, hit enter, and you can see we have point B. Now if we take away the calculator and we make sure that we're all the way on the left on our move menu, we can turn the animation on, and we see that that point B is going to be rotating around the circle in increments of 1 degree from 0 to 360 degrees. So what we want to say here is that angles can be positive, rotation can be positive going counterclockwise, this is the positive direction, and rotation can be negative going counterclockwise, or going clockwise, or the clockwise direction, that's a negative angle. So let's pause this. You're going to right click or double tap on your mouse key if you have a Chromebook, go to object properties for your slider, and we're going to choose increasing. Okay, so now when we press play, that our angle is simply going to be in the positive, rotating in the positive direction, and it's going to start from 0 and it's going to go all the way to 360 degrees, and the slider is going to start all over again. Okay, so let's pause the slider somewhere in the first quadrant. Okay, somewhere in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant of the unit circle. We're going to pause it, and we're going to create a perpendicular line. So we're going to go here and create a perpendicular line. We're going to touch point B, and we're going to wait until it says x-axis, and then we're going to click, and we have a perpendicular line here. Okay, let's go to our intersect menu, which is our second point menu, second down, intersect, and we're going to intersect between the x-axis and the perpendicular line that we just created, and we're going to create point C. Okay. Um, then we are going to make sure we're on the left hand menu. We are going to deselect the view mode on the perpendicular line we just created, and we're going to create another line. Let's create another line segment from point A to point B. Okay, and then let's make sure we're on the move menu. Now as we run the animation, we can see now that not only is the point moving around the circle, but there's an angle created around the circle. There's an angle created around the circle. And let's stop this, let's pause this. Not only is there an angle created around the circle of 62 degrees, right? 62 degrees. We can actually move the slider and we can make it almost 90. We can make it 180 or approximately, and then 270 is around here, and then all the way is 360, and then we start all over again at 0 degrees. Okay, so let's move it to about 45 degrees, somewhere in between 0 and 90 degrees. We created this point C. Now let's create another line segment from point B to point C, and from point C to point A. Okay, so now we want to color code these two line segments. So we're going to color code the first. So make sure we're on the left move menu. Notice how I'm selecting the line, it's highlighted. I'm going to make the sign red, and I'm going to make the line thickness 6. I'm going to select the horizontal line of the triangle that we just created. I'm going to make that blue, and I'm going to make its line thickness 6. Okay, and then the hypotenuse, I'm going to make a mixture of the red and the blue, purple, and let's make that line thickness 6 also. Okay, so now as we traverse around the unit circle, so let's make sure we're on the move menu so we don't create no other lines or color code. Now let's press play so the animation. Now as we move across the unit circle, as we rotate across the unit circle, we see that there's a horizontal portion and a horizontal portion and a vertical portion of the triangle that we created here that is directly related to the angle that we're creating here. And what is the value of the angle? Well, the value of the angle is shown here with the slider. Okay, so if we pause that, we can go to our polygon menu, which is our 5th menu, and let's create a polygon. We'll start with point B, go to point A, go to point C, and then you have to return to point B. Let's go all the way back to our move menu, select the polygon, and let's change that to a gray color. I believe that's gray. And let's do the contrast about 25 or 20. So you can still see the red is the vertical, the blue is the horizontal, and the purple is the hypotenuse of this reference triangle that we're creating, that we've created out of this rotation of point B around the unit circle. And the reason why we call this a unit circle again is because the radius of this circle is 1. So let's press the animation again, making sure we're on the left move menu. And now we can see that for any rotation, there's this triangle that's created that also follows the rotation. And we can also notice that the vertical portion of the triangle grows and shrinks as the point B is rotating around the unit circle, and that there's a horizontal blue portion that grows and shrinks as point B is going around the unit circle. Okay, this is just to get us started. We're going to talk about this, so please leave the animation on. We're going to save this as measurement of rotation. Measurement of rotation. We always save it as public because we want to share our work. Go ahead and save. And then we're going to talk about this in class.